Shalom, this is Sophia, the AmaruKhan Miriyam, and we're here in the jungle. Looks like it. I have to take a break from the ocean because of the riptides, and it's getting a little crazy out there with this storm that's heading. So I decided to try tailgating, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. So I just wanted to make a little video. We're almost at 40 days for people who are doing 40 days of the fast. I'm going to go until the sun changes stations. So I'm going to start observing that in the next day or two to see when the sun changes stations. I haven't figured out how I'm going to actually check that. The way that I did it last time, I can't do it like that this time. So I'm going to have to figure something out. But, yeah, I'm going to go until the sun changes stations, which I expect to see, like I said, in a few days. It was on the 18th. Yeah, the first day of the year was the 18th. So it could be the 18th. We'll see. So the people who are doing 40 days, our 40 days is almost up. I hope that this has been helpful for everyone. I'm still encouraging people to spend this month renegotiating your contract with the Most High, going through and doing a list of all the things that you've accomplished. Actually, let's read my list. I made my list last night, which was pretty freaking unbelievable. And those who've been following me, this is all things that you have learned, you have participated in too. So this is just, this is not an exhaustive list, but this is what we have covered over here on this channel. Spiritual development in the 2022 fiscal year, or 2023 fiscal year. It started in 22. So this is like 22-23 fiscal year. Now we're going to 23-24. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so we started our fiscal year with a fast, which started on August the 1st of 2022 and went through 9/9. That was to take back the kingdom. Most of us did sun up to sun down, meaning you fasted while Oreo was out, and a result, I have that further down. Then some of us did a 22-day fast, which was a Daniel fast, and that was to mourn the loss of the 2/3, and that started on October the 22nd. Then we did another 40-day fast starting on the cross-quarter holiday, which was February the 1st of 2023, and went through the change of stations, the start of our new year, or the last day of our year, which was March the 17th. And that was the double portion fast. I know I have a double portion. And then we're ending out our fiscal year with a 40-day fast that's going to go from, some people started on the 1st. I started on the 28th. It'll go through somewhere between the 18th and the 23rd, depending on how many days you do. And this was Restored Daughter Zion fast. So some of the things that we have accomplished, these are not necessarily going to be in order because I had to make multiple rows. This is a lot of complicated stuff. So we did 40 days of prayer. We learned about the planetary phases. That's when I was doing the daily moon phases and planetary positions report. I had the Rhabdomancy course, so we learned how to use pendulums. Queen Elizabeth was deposed, and we also prevented King Charles from taking on any legal or moral authority within his kingdom. We learned the cosmic laws. We learned spirit intelligences and how to activate those particular angels. We personified the archangels, meaning we identified every archangel with a story / character from the book, from the Bible. We connected spiritual, physical hierarchy, and celestial hierarchy. We studied the law, spiritual law, physical law and its connection, common law, Magna Carta, the Hammurabi Code, and Moses Law. We learned a lot about planetary perfumes. In that video, I also discussed what some of the stuff is. Let's see. We, some of us determined that we were going to serve at the pleasure of the Most High. We were not God, that we would serve the Creator. Others did not. We learned the true struggle of Yeshua. Those who followed along with me at Pascha saw the whole, got the replay of his whole passion. We freed the martyrs. We freed Yeshua's martyrs, saints, and followers. We learned about the evil eye and how to protect ourselves from it. We did a lot with Zion. We have the Restored Daughter Zion fast, and we also talked about the Shema magic, the Zion Shema that was bought by Elder Almond. We learned about the lots of fortune, not just your part of fortune, but the whole lot, which will tell you, can and will and does tell you a lot more. We also learned and developed the Spiritualite tree of life. We have the roots of the tree, the fruits of the tree, and the nodes. And we tied that to the celestial clock, i.e. the tarot spiral. And we are still progressing with how to actually use that. We learned or talked several times about diagnosing spiritual disease using the celestial hierarchy, using tarot, and using spiritual surgery methods, which is and something I didn't put on here, not just diagnosing, but also doing the actual spiritual work using both the pendulum and also, that's not even on here, using both the pendulum to deal with the different energy, the frequencies that come from that. Okay. We delved into the Spirit Mother, the Beothuk, the Mimak Indians, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and the Mother's Feast Days, which is all very similar. We conducted several spiritual warfare operations, one of them being Operation Elvira, other spiritual warfare aspects, but the one everyone was involved in was Operation Elvira. We canceled contracts, the Willie Lynch letter, the Haitian Independence document, the Dumb Diverses, and the Masonic Creed. We learned how to do timeline correction using the tarot spiral, and also how to go between timelines. We did a lot of specific high-level demon neutralization, the Antichrist, Jezebel, Baal, Baalzebub, and Ashtaroth specifically. We removed a specific principality, being the Leviathan, at least the Leviathan that was being summoned by the Leviathan priesthood. We did quite a bit of shadow work, even identifying different levels of the shadow work. We activated the Olympic spirits or the ancient spirits, including Diana and Aradia. We did quite a bit of prophesying of plagues here. We identified certain principalities, i.e. what legions of demons are, the demonic nine, the Leviathan priesthood, Tertullian and his collective, and chaos magic. We also did absolution, which is the forgiveness in the blood. That's again tied to the Pascha journey and the passion of Yeshua. We did some meditations. We learned about subtle energies. We did decoding of crop circles. We asked questions, learned how to properly, or started the process of asking questions, which is really the process of activating the solar plexus. We did I am documents, including looking at the 7 I ams that Jesus said, Yeshua said. We learned about protection symbols, including the Atlantean protection symbol, which I didn't go into detail, but I did share with you all. We learned about the martyrs as our ancestors, as the class of our ancestors, specifically the virgin martyrs and the other warriors. We identified the doom loop, and that goes with the timeline correction. We came full circle on spiritual fasting and why the 22-day fast was so important, how it worked, and this is definitely a technique that our people have used for a long time to affect change. And most importantly, we ushered ourselves into the golden age. We are tied to the golden age. The golden age is tied to us. So this is what I wrote down. And looking at this, honestly, that took 8 minutes? That was a lot of stuff. Get out of my car. That was a lot of work that we did over the last year. That's a lot that we learned. Of course, whatever people were studying on their own. I still have some more notes to go through to compile my list of accomplishments. But these are all things that you all can add to your list of spiritual accomplishments. And I feel like this is something that we, as spiritual people, definitely would, because when you're trying to figure out when you learned something, what was the context and all of that, having these kinds of lists will help you to identify why you came to a conclusion. What was the purpose of it? Why were you even thinking about this topic? What is it related to? And so putting into context with what you've done over the year is going to be very helpful when you have to share the information with someone else, as well as just, solidifying it as information that you have, access to, And so I hope everybody does take the time to go through and actually make a list of what they've learned this year, since September of 2020 to up until the end of August of 2023. I wasn't planning on doing that, but that seems to be very useful. I did put out several videos regarding different things that's can be done with the new moon that is upcoming. The direction we are going to take this year is really learning about ourselves, radical self-discovery, and how to situate ourselves within what is going on. So I've been listening to this lady for quite a while, and she did an interview on Rumble with another person who is more so like me, as in regards of detailed sort of channelings and stuff, detailed information. I guess she calls it quantum, right? I don't really know if I really care for that term, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So I was about 30 minutes through the video, and I was like, this is literally like a summary of everything that I've been trying to say for the whole last year. Not just the information that I learned, but things I've been trying to get across to people and just didn't have the right words. Like, it was, it's amazing. She even talked about the specific geometry, including like the chestahedron and the heart and all of that. And I've never been able to quite get that across to people in a way that makes the kind of sense that I want to make. So I was really excited to hear her talk about it. So I'm going to do some more research, and we may go into that sort of quantum field. I'm not really, I'm a science person, but I'm not particularly into, I don't want to make it complicated. I want it to be easy for people to understand. I know there's people who are in science that, they talk about stuff in a very scientific manner, but I take a scientific topic and try and put it into layperson's terms. That's typically how I operate, and so we'll see how much information I can pull from that and direct out towards people. Because if you can wrap your mind around who you are quantumly, you can change who you are literally. It's just one of those things that you can do. So it's all very interesting. I didn't realize I'd learned so much. So I'm really glad that I did the review. I definitely want to do some kind of a calendar. I'm still working. I have an idea, but it almost has to be like one of those things that you can add on to. It would not be one that you just, I'm going to walk around with this calendar. No, it would probably be something that's like framed, and then you can add more layers into it as more information comes up, or you're going to have several. I'm not really sure. That's why I'm just rolling it around now, because it is good to have a physical calendar where you can write stuff down like a notebook, but then you need something that you can visually look at, because I can say that observing the tarot spiral and observing the Zion Shema has communicated a lot of information to me. And so if you're looking at what's coming up for your next, stage, card, whatever that you're coming into, this is going to be information that you somehow need to be able to communicate onto some sort of a thing. So I'm still thinking about how that can work, because I need one for myself. So and not that I don't do stuff for other people, but I literally need one, because I can't even keep track. Like, I'm getting ready to go after my birthday. Then I'm going to go into my South Node energy for the year, and that's less than favorable energy for me. So one of the ideas that I had was to do a mantra. Since it's 36 days, I want to do a mantra using the 369 structure. So maybe 3 times a day, 3 times a day, 3 and 3. And because I have it's 36 days, which is 3 and 6 is 9. So, but I got to come up with the mantra, and then I have to be able to track that, because with the progressions, every 36 days you go into a new progression. So you don't want to wait until that progression comes in and then I want to have a mantra that I do throughout the whole year. And maybe you're not writing that 3 times a day, but maybe you're just having a theme for the year. So what year number is this for me? For my birthday, it's a lot of, just stuff I need to be able to keep track of. And it's stuff that you have to, you got to be able to pull it from somewhere. Plus you need to be able to keep a reference point to your chart. And it's a lot of information. So I'm still working on it, thinking it through. And I hope that the Most High gives me something that makes sense, that I can at least put a template together, and everybody can sort of make their own until I get one. Because like I've been watching on TikTok, right? They have these things called the shadow work journal, which is very interesting. But like I said in one of the videos, shadow work is useless if you don't know yourself. You can't do shadow work if you don't know yourself. And so a lot of people, they don't know their chart, they don't know their strengths, they don't know weaknesses, they don't know their human design, they don't know anything. And so you're trying to do a chart, when you don't actually know. You don't know who you are. You're trying to do shadow work and you don't know who you are. And so the shadow you might be trying to remove is an integral part of who you are. And so you end up doing yourself disservice by doing shadow work and not having a prior understanding of literally who you are and what you came here to do. And this is why we're going to get into the human design, because one of the mantras that I wrote that I didn't share, it integrated my human design into it. And that's why I was like, I may as well not even share this, because people probably haven't looked up their human design chart. So if I try to talk about it, then I got to explain the human design chart. And I'm not really prepared to do that yet. I'm still mulling the process of how to explain it, because it's pretty complicated if you don't have your basic chart down. And then yesterday I was talking about whole sign house charts. So you have to be able to identify this. You basically have to become an astrologer, even if it's your own personal astrologer. Then you have to become an astronomer, because you need to be able to look into the sky and see how these things affect you. I mean, it's a lot of information. This is why I'm like, we got to really be radical on understanding who we are, really tapping into that energy, and then being able to turn that into our own personal power and our own personal magic. Is radical self-discovery for this year. That's what we're going to be focused on, turning our light up as bright as it can get and seeing what happens. We've never tried that before. I've tried turning my light down, and I know that doesn't yield positive results, so we're going to try the opposite and see if we get something a little bit better, which I indeed hope that we do. So something else that I did want to talk about is we really have to manage fear, because everyone who is channeling, reading, everything, there's a lot of sorry, I'm trying to see, this is why I have to get a tailgating chair. We have to actually, truck is loud. We have to really work on our fear response, because they are attempting to overlay this fear program onto the divine structure, the golden age, right? They're trying to overlay a fear program, and previously they've been successful with this. People looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm tailgating in my minivan. I'm a tailgate till the tailgaters tailgate. Anyway, they're trying to overlay a fear program on top of our golden age program, basically. And so with that being said, we have to be extremely careful not to dip back into fear, because that will alter your frequency, and then with that frequency alteration, it will cause you to literally change who you are, and literally put you into a lower vibration. So one of the things that I've been thinking about in regards to that is that's why I'm out here right now. You have to devote yourself to spending more time in nature. Like, obviously I'm not putting my feet in the ground here because it's sand, and it's not the pretty beach sand. It's I don't know what's in the sand, so I got my feet up, but I'm still surrounded by nature, you know what I mean, in a way that's, it's not hot, I'm not uncomfortable, whatever. And so I'm already thinking, okay, what am I going to do in the winter? I need a house that has a big window so that I can sit by the window and at least look outside if I'm not going to go outside, you know what I mean? And so I'm already thinking, trying to prepare myself for the next season, because I know that the seasons do change, and I have to, Florida mostly has hot and cold, but I don't want to wait until it gets cold for them couple months. And then I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? I don't have a plan. No, I need to start thinking about what my plan is now. Right. So I definitely suggest people, they make it in their plan to spend as much time in nature as possible. One of the things that the woman described in the video I was watching, which I need to get a little more clarification, but I'll mention it, is that once you remove yourself from a situation that you know is bad, an answer will appear. It's guaranteed that the answer will appear. And so people who are having issues with like school related stuff, or their kids or churches or whatever, or even friends and family, once you remove yourself, a new structure will appear for you to participate in, or whatever the case may be, or the people will be upgraded, or I don't know exactly, but I do know that sounds about right. That's basically what I've been experiencing once I remove myself from the result. Answers do appear, and it's definitely been interesting trying to figure out how money fits into that, right? Because the way that they run the money program is a fear-based program. But I don't want to run a fear-based money program. I refuse to. And so simply withdrawing myself from the whole concept of money for an extended amount of time is not practical. So what I am trying to do is withdraw myself from it emotionally, and not, stress myself out about it, and just understand that, okay, well, the money has to be spent, which we know money has to be spent. Sometimes it's against our will, we just do the best that we can, and not being so stressed out about, okay, how am I going to deal with this? And living in the present moment. And it's different to do it with, like less personal stuff, but they have made money such a personal thing to us that it takes a little bit more effort to for some people. Maybe some people, their problem is relationships or whatever, or whatever it is. It could be your children, it could be anything, but I just know that in general they have made the money program so personal that that trying to live outside of it is quite difficult. I've also noticed that in relation to like I said, the politics program. It's funny because the video I was watching, the lady said that it's all tied together now. They, quote unquote, whoever the powers that were, they have tied everything together so much that it's really impossible to detangle all of it. So this is why when I said the other day, the mother's going to deal in politics. Well, she doesn't have much of a choice because they've tied everything together. Had they kept things, separate the way that they were supposed to, this wouldn't be the end result. But instead, they decided to put everything together. And so now you have these things which would ordinarily not have to be addressed in order to address other issues. Now you got to address all of them. So it's very, it's very, it's not the way that we expected, because I think the system is, what has been done, this overlay that has been put over our Golden Age program has been so, this Golden Age program has been, this overlay has been, so ingrained into people's heads that the Most High has to use it. They didn't even leave them a choice whether to use, like, for me, some of the things that I really hate, more than anything, which is, I'm going to may as well go and say it because I know stuff I'm going to have to get into. One of these things is the Q-tards and the whole trust the plan and all these people. I truly hate these people. and this whole thing. But the Most High is going to have to use this. The whole quantum financial system, I hate that stuff. That guy, Christopher Steele, David Knight, and all of those people, like, I truly have a sincere disdain for those people. But there's so many people who believe this stuff, the rainbow currency and all of this stuff. There's so many people that believe this stuff that they have to run it as a program. It's just that it's not going to run as the program that was expected. So that's a whole, all of these, all of these grifters, you know what I mean? And this is why I have stood my ground with the Most High in regards to this for a whole year, basically. Like, I'm not going to grift. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to be out here giving information in exchange for money. I won't do it. I do readings, I sell products, and I take the money, but I don't do it for the money. I refuse to run that program, and I have been very, very faithful in my refusal to run this program for one whole full year. I refuse to run this program. And this is why it keeps coming up for me, because every time I refuse to run this program, somebody calls me and they try to get me to run the program. I don't think people are aware of themselves, or rather, it's not the program for them. In their reality, it's not the same kind of program that it shows up in my reality is. So I have to, and since my reality is what I create, I have to really, I have to really work hard not to, run this program, because I'm an earth sign, with heavily aspected water signs, a really, really tight Mercury, I don't know if it's a debilitated Jupiter, strong and debilitated at the same time. And my Neptune is all crazy, so I have a lot of and I'm very heavy on the water, and not the nice water, not the nice stream. No, I'm heavy on the fiery water. So that is a very eclectic combination of things. And so whereas things don't trigger certain people, and I'm a generator, which is most people are generators, so that also comes with its own set of issues, or things that have to be thought about and have to be addressed. And so this is why we have to focus on ourselves this year, because we have to be able to navigate this fear program overlay over the golden age, and truly our people are the ones that have to be able to do this, because in one of the videos, the lady was like, it's Israel who's going to save America, and she was thinking it was Israel the country, and I'm like, no, it's the Israelites, it's us. And she even said the golden ones. Well, I'm the only person on the internet that is saying we are going into the golden age. Absolutely no one else. I'm really out on a tangent by myself, and so if we are going into the golden age and it's going to be led by us, the Israelites, then somebody has to be leading us into the golden age. And it just so happens to be that I just keep listening to what I'm being told, and I keep following the instructions and following down the path of knowledge that has to be gained to be able to, complete the task. I mean, anybody could be completing these tasks, but you have to be open to, there's something about, my Virgo is in the 11th house, and there's something about 11th house Virgos that are able to rapidly change their mind, like rapidly take in new information, rapidly update their system, and just rapidly like move into this new, this new information. Whereas other people with different placements, they're not as able to make these rapid changes. But my placements are such that I can make these changes in an instant. I get new information. It may seem a little strange, but I don't doubt it, and then as long as I don't doubt it, then I can build on top of it. And if I get some information that, because somebody posted on my TikTok, well, you don't know the Bible, this and that, no. You don't know the Bible. You said the Levites were never enslaved, this and that. I was like, lady, this is from 3 months ago. I have identified the problem now as the Leviathan. You're not going to hold me to something I posted on the internet 3 months ago. I'm sorry, you just found it, but really, I said this 3 months ago. And I'm not taking it down because I want people to understand that I'm a person who is constantly evolving. I may agree with a point today, and then the next day I'm going to have to reevaluate it because I get new information. And it doesn't bother me. I know that it does bother a lot of people. Too close this. But I don't have a problem with it. It's how I naturally operate. And so now that I've learned more about myself, I know that that's not a problem. It's just, this is what I'm built for, to take in new information, to process new information, to throw old information out. When I get new information that's better, more cohesive, or even when I find information that confirms information that I'm saying from sources that I know didn't get it from where I got it from. Like that woman, Magenta Pixie, and the other lady, I think her name is Marina or something. These people don't know who I am. But why is it that they're saying the same thing I'm saying? Why is it that we're all saying the same thing? And they're channeling. I don't even channel. I'm just listening to what I'm told and following, I'm following the information that I'm getting. I'm not even channeling. You know what I mean? And so, maybe I am channeling, but I don't channel a collective, a group, or anything like that. I'm just, got my ear to the ground in the spirit realm. I pull some cards and kind of see what's going on. I can read the energy in the collective, and see through the veil, I guess. I don't know how you describe this, but I would know that this was different from what other people could do if I didn't look at my chart and see how my pieces come together. Because remember, your chart is your contract. It's what you are sent here to do. It is explicit and it is complete. You have a complete job from beginning to end in your chart. It is complete and it is accurate. You just don't know how to read it, and it's not a thing that you can read one time and that's it. No, it's constantly looking past the layers, picking up new stuff comes up, trying to figure out why you respond to stuff the way that you do. Like I'm finding with human design, they're like, if you're a emotional generator, then when you respond to something, you have a physical response. So I don't know. Now I have to monitor my responses to things to figure out what my physical response is, because I didn't realize the physical responses I was having was due to the nature of my human design, and it's also in my chart. Because human design is based on your birth location and all of that. It's in your chart. Everything is. It's all in your chart. It's different ways of reading it, different ways of looking at it, different levels of understanding. So I think I've gone on about this long enough. I hope that this information is helpful as I gather more data and understanding. I'll share more. But in the meantime, I want people to definitely go start looking up your chart. Look at the videos that came out about the different suggestions for how to handle this new moon, and definitely be reviewing what you've learned this year, because just the people who have been following my channel, we've learned a lot. And this year, I intend on learning a lot more, and what I learn, I will share. Which is why I can't grift, because I'm just learning. I'm going to grift off something I'm learning. That just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. So anyway, that's just me. This is where I am. So, hope this information reaches you all well. To the spirits who are with us, you're invited to go in peace. To my beloved viewers, you're invited to be at peace. And always remember, the Most High, mother, father, sister, and brother are your peace. Shalom. We'll see you in the next video.